hand. I see 2 Gurmag Anglers, a Mishra's Bauble, and a Fetch. So he's gonna get off to a pretty quick start, get some card selection, know what's going on.
He also has a Serum Vision in his hand, so he could fire that off right now if he wanted to look for 4 more action. He also has a Terminate. That's the last card.
So he's gonna be able to answer basically anything. Probably deploy 1 Gurmag Angler by turn 3, maybe turn 2 if we're lucky.
I saw a glimpse of Tony's hand. It was Fatal Push, Thoughtseize, and Snapcaster Mage is what I saw, and then I think a couple lands.
Fatal Push sounds really bad here. Thoughtseize, of course, huge in the matchup. I think I see a Mishra's Bauble over there, too, so he's going to have his graveyard online and ready to go pretty quickly. That's like one of the big things about this deck is you have to balance like 3 different things while you're playing. It's like what's in my opponent's hand, what's in my graveyard, and like what is my life total, because you need that to be low to actually cast some of your threats as well.
Exactly, and since they're kind of on the same thing where they're both trying to get themselves low to get something really big, it's kind of like, are you the first one to pull the trigger, to like, get yourself that low? So it's an interesting mirror match.
You end up with a lot of situations where one combat step decides everything, and it's like, well, I guess we just played like a full game of Magic, but in the end, all that really mattered was
this last turn.
This turn, because only one hit is going to matter.
Yep. They're not really going to, I mean, unless Alexander here just knows what's going on and then decides to go on that Gurmag plan and just, Tony might not be able to answer it.
Yeah.
There's not like a plethora of ways. Grixis Death Shadow leans a lot on discard and then like Fatal Push.
Yeah.
So, there's only so many ways to answer a like 7-mana spell,
Yeah. Alexander, when he had the Mishra's Bauble earlier, I'm pretty sure that what he saw on top of Tony's deck was just a fetch land. So he like doesn't actually know what Tony's on. Turn one like Fetch Shock Thoughtseize is pretty indicative, starting from a Blood Crypt, especially with a bauble.
Yeah, with a bauble, yeah. I mean, I could see it in Jund, but it's not likely.
No, this is pretty clearly like a shadow deck.
Yeah.
There's also the 4-color shadow deck.
Yep.
That I'm pretty sure also plays Mishra's Bauble, so it could be that. But they should both have like at least an inkling of what's going on here.
Yeah, and with Tony definitely seeing Alexander's whole hand.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows what's up. There wasn't a shadow in it, but 2 Gurmag Anglers and 2 Terminates, you know what's up.
Yeah. Takes the Thought Scour, like knows that he's going to need the Thought Scour to actually get Gurmag Angler online anytime soon.
Yeah,
so
especially the second one.
Oh yeah.
So Tony's probably like, all right, well, I'll slow him down getting the first one out, and then make sure he just can't cast the second one.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fair.
They playing draw go Magic here?
They are. Yeah.
That's pretty uncommon for this mirror. And Alexander now holding his 3rd copy of Gurmag Angler.
Wow, that looks really bad.
The second one is normally dead. The third one
Always.
is like always dead.
Yeah.
Things have to go really your way to cast the 3rd Gurmag.
Yeah,
Angler
that's how Delve spells work. Like most of the time, you're like, wow, these are really powerful when you get to delve them, and then you draw 3 of them, and you're like, ooh.
Wow, I'm so glad I put this many in my deck. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yep. I play Infect, so I play Become Immense, and when you see your first Become Immense, you're like, yeah, this is it. And then you draw your second one, you're like, I doubt this is ever going to get cast. And if you ever draw your 3rd copy, you're just like, wow.
Who put this here? I sure as hell didn't.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to flashback that Thoughtseize. He's not going to like what he sees. There's nothing of importance here.
Yeah.
He's likely taking a Terminate because he still is holding a Death Shadow.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing right now. Obviously, taking a Gurmag is going to do nothing because it's basically taking his 3rd copy of Gurmag, which is dead anyway. Unless
he starts drawing more Thoughtseizes, he's not getting anywhere by taking Gurmag Anglers.
Yeah, the other thing is I don't know if he plays Inquisition of Kozilek, but if he does, then he can't take Gurmag with that at all. But it's unlikely, and I don't think he actually even cares. I mean, he's like fueling the first Gurmag, but...
I'm gonna cast it.
Yep.
That
I would have left 1 card. I don't see why you would leave it. I mean, I guess you're like He did take a draw step. He drew Kolaghan's command, but he could be representing like Bolt.
Yeah, I
or
think that's
something
the
like that.
idea here is that you're like, yeah, if you do anything, I'll bolt it. But
If you play your your 1/1 Death Shadow, it's gonna die.
yeah,
You know.
also could be trying to bait Tony into casting something that like, or casting like a Thoughtseize or something like to find out what he drew.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, he's holding up mana. Clearly, it must have been something important, like something that he can do. It could be Thought Scour. It could be, Bolt, of course. So, if he's holding up that mana, it at least looks like Tony could get new information from casting a Thoughtseize here.
Yeah, he cycles a Street Wraith and then plays the Death Shadow. Not super big right now, but against this, he's got to do something to try to fight back against this Gurmag Angler.
Alexander's probably going to take this game pretty cleanly now. He's got Terminate. He'll be able to attempt to terminate that Death Shadow. If Tony has no interaction for the Terminate, then
I'm pretty sure Tony's hand right now is Fatal Push and 3 lands.
yeah, it looks something similar to that. I know I keep seeing the Fatal Push in at least one land.
Yeah, I think he has Fetch Land, Steam Vents, and Blood Crypt, I think are the 3 cards in his hand. Yeah.
Yeah, if Alexander is able to resolve Terminate, which is, I'm assuming what he's pondering here, like, is that even going to be possible?
Mm-hmm.
If he can resolve Terminate, he has Bolt, so he'll just clean it up the next turn.
Yeah.
He just has to, be a little gung-ho about it. It's hard to play a mirror match like this where you guys can know that both of you can interact on the stack like that.
Yeah.
And not at least try.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think the big thing that Tony's worried about is Stubborn Denial.
Yeah. Gonna go for Thoughtseize.
I mean, obviously he's got to go.
Now he's got to go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he'll take the Bolt. That's gonna kill him.
Yeah. But he still has to find a way to answer this Gurmag Angler.
Yep. Without an answer, Tony is dead right now. Gonna make him do it.
Yeah. I mean, he juked him the first time. Maybe he'll do it again.
Bauble. Keeping it safe. See what's on top. Gonna pressure me? Or do I have to go now?
Yeah, exactly.
Goes for it.
I think we might have life totals wrong, right? Because Gurmag Angler is 5 power, right?
Yes, it's a 5/5, so we must have life totals wrong here. Whatever it is, he definitely had to fully pay for that Dismember.
Yeah.
There's Stubborn Denial. Alexander wishing he had that the previous turn.
Yep.
Shows him Kolaghan's command. Okay.
Yep.
He was at 2.
Yeah, okay.
All right. That works as well.
Yeah, I think that game kind of just went, Tony had a good start, kind of. Like, it was a little shaky because he had Fatal Push, which just wasn't great.
Yep.
But he just drew a lot of lands.
Oh, yeah, big time.
And like, Death Shadow doesn't really want to do that at all. They're more of an aggressively slanted deck.
Heading into sideboards here. Let's talk about Alexander first. Got 2 Anger of the Gods, 1 Disdainful Stroke, an extra Stubborn Denial, an extra Fatal Push, 2 Liliana Last Hope, 2 Ancestral Visions, 2 Spellskite, 3 Young Pyromancer, and 1 Dreadbore. Got any cards that stand out to you?
Obviously, Stubborn Denial is the big one. And then other than that, I don't know. I guess you could bring in Disdainful Stroke if you're worried about the Delve creatures, but it doesn't seem great.
I'm not thinking that. I think some cards you might want here, Liliana Last Hope is going to help you grind out the mirror. And Dreadbore might come in to answer. It's a catch-all answer for all the creatures, and if your opponent also has a Liliana Last Hope, looking at Tony, he does in the sideboard, likely also coming in if I'm correct. And so you want to answer that as well.
Yeah, I could also see Young Pyromancer to get 1-for-1 removal spells out of their hand, and they're probably not Tony's probably not bringing in board wipes. So if he gets like any amount of tokens out of it, it's just gravy.
I think honestly, Spellskite and Ancestral Visions are both also completely reasonable cards to be bringing in here.
Sure, I guess it's just a question of what are you bringing out, and like, so what kind of game plan are you going for?
Yep, you need to decide: am I going to be the beatdown here, or am I going to be the control player?
Mm-hmm.
And once you've decided that you're like one of those, it makes it way more easy to board properly.
Yep.
And it would help, once you know the main deck, once you know your main deck, and what cards you don't want in this matchup.
Exactly. All right, over here on Tony's side, we have 2 Kolaghan's Command, 1 Dreadbore, 1 Ceremonious Rejection, 1 Languish, 2 Liliana the Last Hope, 2 Grim Lavamancer, 2 Abrade, 1 Stubborn Denial, 2 Disdainful Stroke, and 1 Engineered Explosives. Anything you really particular want in here?
If I am here, I'm bringing in the Kolaghan's Commands, Dreadbore, Liliana Last Hope, and the Stubborn Denial.
So even though they have very different sideboards, bringing in pretty much the same things.
Yeah, a lot of their differences in the sideboard come down to being different cards for like completely different matchups.
Yep, they're it's a testament to Modern. Like what decks do you feel that you're not good against?
Yeah.
Some decks are just like, these are the ones that I'm definitely bad against. And
Yeah.
the more versatile ones, kind of like Grixis Shadow, Jund, you kind of just like, you can make a choice.
Yeah, and I mean, you can completely tailor your main deck to be like better in some matchups. So that way you're like, all right, I think this deck is more of a real deck I have to worry about going to an event. So, I can concede that I need 3 games to try and beat this deck. But sometimes you're like, I can take 2 sideboarded games.
Yep.
I can steal those pretty easily. Dan, I think he does have the tokens. He just took his headset off. He's starting to rummage through his bag. Can you pull up Rummaging Goblin real quick? Can you pull up Humble Defector? He's trying to draw 2 cards real quick. And then hand himself over.
I'm not pulling up Rummaging Goblin.
Come on.
I don't know either of these cards.
Come on, AJ, I hate you. Bring up Merfolk Looter. He's looting in his bag.
Hey, make sure when he comes back, he moves this closer, like similar to how you have it. He had it like here.
Yeah, I'll tell him to
Yeah, like,
go dick off.
It's very clearly you're like way louder.
Rough. I'm also just a louder person than him, so, when it comes down to it, he's just a little baby back bitch. Hey. With your headset, you want to keep it over your mouth a little more. All right. Should be finishing up shuffling here. Tony's ready. Alexander taking his sweet time, making sure he's got this.
Oh, and we never mentioned, even though we were going to, if we sound really quiet, let us know, because we were kind of having some technical difficulties before we started the stream. So
yeah, just hit us up in chat. Honestly, hit us up in chat if you have anything to say at all.
Yeah,
that
questions,
could
comments,
possibly
concerns.
Be meaningful. You're not supposed to eat the mic on the headset.
Tell me.
Tell me. I don't know. I'll devour this mic. Don't even test me. I'm hungry, all right? I literally just opened a granola bar. All right, there we go. Don't ever do that again. All right. Suspends Ancestral Visions on turn 1. He going for the long game.
Yep, that seems to be he's made that decision, and it's pretty obvious now to both of them, probably.
Yep. That card is pretty powerful in the mirror match when you are ready to, like, 1-for-1 your hands apart and then go, all right, now that both of our hands don't exist, I will draw 3 cards this turn.
Yep. We'll draw 4, technically.
Yeah.
Because you draw them, and then you go draw a step.
Thoughtseize. What are we taking?
It obviously depends on his hand.
Yeah,
but
quite a bit.
probably the other Thoughtseize. It feels really bad.
Yeah, it feels bad, but if his hand is powerful, taking the other Thoughtseize protects it, and any additional disruption in Tony's hand can be used to continue to take apart Alexander's hand.
Yep.
Takes the other Thoughtseize. I see over there in his hand some cards he cares about. Dreadbore has a Serum Visions, and of course that bauble that he just used. Oof. Rough to have such a bad connection.
I had those days before.
I feel the internet. I live in the corn. I know what it's like.
In the corn.
It basically.
Yeah, I as well. All right, so now we've like definitely slowed down here. I think neither player has decided that I'm like the super aggressor in this matchup.
Yeah.
It's still unclear from Tony's side whether he decided to go for like the really long game plays.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, definitely on Alexander's side. Nothing really. He has the Death Shadow in hand, but he doesn't seem very eager to,
get there.
Yeah, to kill himself to get there. He'll let it happen naturally.
And it will in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, you will both just take damage from your lands, and
Yep.
You don't have to go out of the way to make it happen.
Yep, exactly.
Fetching again.
Yep.
Let's see what we're finding. Is he going to shock himself?
Probably just to get his colors, and then after that,
Yep.
he's probably just gonna go for basics.
Going to see a Watery Grave. Doesn't need red mana yet. Likely has another land in hand that can give him red mana, so he doesn't need to go searching for it too aggressively yet.
Yep. I don't think, I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think he's going to play a mountain in this deck.
No. Inquisition. All right. If I'm Tony here, I'm taking that Terminate.
I don't think he has any creatures in hand, so he doesn't really care too much right now.
He is holding Death Shadow, which, I mean, yeah, he can't cast yet. But he knows right now that he kind of has, like, a time limit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Tony or Alexander will outcard advantage him.
Yeah, with the Ancestor on the board.
Unless Tony, draws a Liliana Last Hope, he's going to get outcard advantage by the end of this game. Thought Scour, drawing some cards. Thoughtseize. All right, so he's got more action. Going to be able to put himself low enough to actually cast Death Shadow and let it live here as well, if he has any way to take extra damage.
Yeah, Alexander drew a bolt, so now he has 2 ways to kill Death Shadow.
Yeah, Tony would have to grow his shadow quite a bit. He'd have to take damage off of something else as well now. To be honest, I think you would rather take Terminate than Bolt if you're going to let your guy die. Mm-hmm. Because at the very worst, he goes, I'm not going to fire this off yet. This doesn't mean anything to me. And you get to take damage somewhere along the road before it would die.
Yeah.
Or this is your threat instead.
Yeah.
And Lightning Bolt doesn't even kill this thing.
Nope. It was, I'm pretty sure, I didn't see it in his hand before, so it must have been, I think it was what he drew off of the
Thought Scour.
The Thought Scour, which is very good.
Now Alexander on a pretty clean clock. Tony's going to be able to take damage, I'm sure, some other point before he gets to deploy his Death Shadow. Mm-hmm. So that will probably be out of Bolt range by the time he casts it.
Yep.
And then that's like a 2-turn clock.
Exactly. I think the best thing right now, I don't know. You could argue both ways of holding up or just playing it safe, don't force yourself to take damage if you don't have to, and then if somehow Alexander answers the Gurmag Angler, then you say, all right, I'll get myself low enough to play this thing, or you say I'm gonna go all out and just try to kill myself to put a very fast clock on you.
Yeah. I think what that comes down to is if I'm in Tony's position, I'm going to feel a little bit threatened here by that Ancestral Vision coming off Suspend. Mm-hmm. Obviously, once that happens, you're behind on cards by quite a bit.
Yep.
I think that kind of puts you in a situation of I have to go now before Alexander actually uses all of them.
Yep. And especially after your Gurmag Angler gets terminated, now either way he's in the same spot. He just has to deploy a threat.
Gonna think about it. What land are we getting? Probably Steam Vents here, since he put that Blood Crypt back in.
Yep. Well, he definitely needs the red mana, and I think blue is a little bit more important here than the red.
He has a second blue source and a second black source already, so
Yeah.
All he's really looking for now is like the red.
Well, I was gonna say he has the same vision in his hand, and I know the other blue card in his hand is Stubborn Denial.
Yeah, then he definitely wants to be able to cast the Death Shadow and hold up Stubborn Denial.
The really kind of awkward thing is that when he plays his Death Shadow, it's going to be a 3/3, which isn't enough to trigger Ferocious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still going to be a what do you call it, Force Spike?
Yeah.
But you know,
Ancestral Vision's
it would
going
have
off
been
here.
been very nice if he was able to get it as a 4/4, and then when the Ancestral comes off, he was able to counter it and just keep things nice. But didn't line up that way. See, Alexander drew a Dismember, a Teamer Battle Rage, and I didn't see the last card.
Start out by playing a land, probably. It's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah.
Has access to either Dismember or Lightning Bolt to take care of this here. But if he uses too much mana first, Tony is going to actually be able to get there with the...
Stubborn Denial?
Yes, Stubborn Denial.
Yep.
He also has Disdainful Stroke in hand. So if Alexander uses too much of his mana and can't kill here, say he uses Bolt first,
Yep.
Disdainful Stroke might become relevant soon.
Right. All right, shock myself. Down to 13. I wonder if he goes for like the full cost. Okay, no, he's respecting it. He's definitely respecting the Disdainful Stroke. Leaving up the 1 mana. He's going to make him pay it.
Yep. It's gone. Feels real rough.
Yeah, he did the right thing though, I think. There's no way he's going to get Ferocious if this Death Shadow just dies here.
Did he top deck another one? Is that what I'm about to see?
That'd be so good for him. Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, sometimes you just
Always.
have it. Oh, he doesn't
always
play
have
it though. I think he's trying to convince Alexander that he doesn't have it, and to like if he has a bolt, like try to be the aggressive player here, and like
Sure.
make him use his bolt or something.
Well, he knows about Bolt, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so that's probably what he's doing. Yeah, he finds a land, shocks in. Now it's out of Bolt range, so he'll play Bolt, or play it now and be safe from Lightning Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
Rough. Mills' second Ancestral Visions. Definitely could use that here. He might end the game first, but probably not, to be honest.
I don't know. He's kind of like enough ahead where I think it's fine.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been like amazing, but it definitely would have locked up the game if it came off Suspend.
Yeah.
You can just put it on Suspend for 1 mana. That doesn't really tax your resources very much.
Mm-hmm.
And, once it comes off Suspend, if it even has to, the game is over.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Tony is on, like, a real clock then.
Yeah, exactly. He does draw the Young Pyromancer, or Young Peasy, and this is going to be good. It basically means that Tony has to have and draw Teamer Battle Rage.
Yep.
Or
Or can't do anything.
Yeah.
Dreadbore is good enough.
Ooh, those. Oh man, he's using the bad tokens too.
Jeez.
I lent him my $5 tokens. He's not even using them.
$5 tokens.
I know. I'm an idiot.
That's such a bad decision. To be honest, I was looking at like someone who alters cards and tokens online last night.
Really?
I was like, yeah, let me see. Well, you know what it was. I was telling you about this before we started. I was watching some Jeff Hoagland, and he was plugging one of his sponsors, and that's what they do. And I was like, actually, I might do that.
I need some tokens.
Well, maybe not tokens, but I was like, hey, I would get a card altered.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
Oh crap! I wasn't paying attention.
Would it be Arc Slogger?
Yeah, Arc Slogger. No. Tony played Liliana.
Yep.
Took out Young Pyromancer, Made it a 0-0.
Yep.
And now he's going to be able to start getting creatures back in a second.
Or he might just...
Kill these.
Yeah, I mean, he's at 3, which is very not good.
Kills it. If he has a threat here.
Oh.
All right. What is Alexander holding? Did he fire off Bolt already? Yeah, he did to get the second elemental, didn't he?
Yeah. He's got Teamer Battle Rage and he just drew a Kolaghan's Command.
Well, Kolaghan's Command seems a little weak here. He's going to get in 2 damage likely. And, I don't know, get a creature back? If he gets a creature back, he can get back... He can get back Young Pyromancer, but he doesn't have enough spells to make that good.
Yeah.
I
was trying to see if he could, like... Yeah, I was going to see if he had enough to, like, be able to, like, finagle some combat stuff to trade with this Gurmag Angler, but
No.
he just can't.
No, that'll take way too long. Getting back Young Pyromancer. It will die to Liliana again.
Yeah.
Alexander is in a rough position. And this is what I was talking about when I was saying that the game comes down to, like, one combat step.
Mm-hmm.
Is that now they're both, like, in a position of, like, well, whatever I do, I'm in trouble. Like, any slight misstep will end everything. Oh, you can't get back Gurmag Angler with that.
No, it's any creature, right?
It's, is it? I thought it was CMC 2 or less. Or 3 or less or something. Am I crazy? I might be crazy.
No, I'm pretty sure, like, that one was just any card to your hand.
What card am I thinking of? I'm thinking of a different card then.
Was it like Slumgar's Command? You, like, return it to the battlefield, but it had to be, like, a CMC 2 or less, something like that?
I don't remember. Maybe you can get anything
Let's
back
see.
with Kolaghan's Command. I've never played it. Yeah, you can't get any creature.
Yeah, it's any creature.
I'm just a dingus. Disdainful Stroke, though. Coming through.
Yo, AJ, I can, like, hear us. I can hear us. From somewhere else. On, like, a 10-second delay. Like a speaker or something. It's like one of your monitors making the noise.
This shouldn't be possible.
Oh.
We're here trying to turn the corner. Serum Visions. Let's see. What can we get? Give me the Lightning Bolt. It's on top. One more turn. Scry that to the top. Let's see. We got anything? We have Teamer Battle Rage. We got... Is that a Gurmag Angler? That's enough. If that's a Gurmag Angler, that's more than enough.
Oh, yeah, that's the one that you just got back from Kolaghan's Command, right? Or no. Sorry, I looked away from the screen for a second.
No,
Oh, he Disdainful Stroked it. I got it. Yeah.
I don't think he Disdainful Stroked it. I think what he did was he chose modes deal 2 damage, make you discard a creature. Or discard a card. Because Tony's at 1 now. That wouldn't be possible any other way. Jeez. Dies right there. So close.
Yeah, so close yet so far. And, like through that whole game, there was, like, what, 2 actual combat steps? Maybe 3?
Yeah. No, like, little chipping away at each other's life total. It was, like, all of the game was played in the hand.
Yep. Ah, okay, so I figured it out, what you were thinking of. That's Ojitai's Command, which was a standard staple, was return target creature card with CMC 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield.
You're right. Because you'd always get back Jace Vern's Prodigy with that.
Yep.
I remember.
I knew it was one of the commands.
I've played too many different formats now.
Yeah, we're old.
I'm not even old.
I know, right?
It's fucked up. Something. I read an article about this a long time ago. I think it was a Paulo Vito Dama de Rosa article.
That's a great name.
It is Pablo Doritos.
Mm-hmm.
He had an article where he said something along the lines of, every time you mulligan, or not mulligan, sideboard, you should just put your entire 15 in your deck, and then take out the worst 15 cards, whatever is left over.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be really good for a matchup like this, like right now.
Yeah.
They just saw so much of each other's decks. They have like a really good idea of what they sideboarded in.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know anymore.
Yeah.
Like, did I just change it up and decide I'm the aggressor again?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what did I do?
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting decision to be made there.
Because, like, you can change things between games 2 and 3 as well. I know it doesn't happen often.
Right.
And it, like, ends up not really mattering very much. But, I mean...
Sometimes it does. I
Yeah.
mean, when you're playing the thing is, the reason that it's good here is because neither deck is one of the decks that just like gets like these are the cards that you sideboard in. These are the cards that everyone has in their sideboard for this deck.
Yeah, it's not obvious.
Right, exactly. So there's so many options that you could bring in where, you know, you could just be like, all right, cool. Like there's no guarantee that any of these cards are staying in.
Yep, you have no idea what cards are staying in, what cards are coming out. You know, what even matters. Do you have to worry about Planeswalkers? I might not have any.
Yeah.
Like, do you have to worry about me having stubborn denials? I might have just decided that I'm going to bring in, like, extra remove or discard spells or something and
Right.
like, ignore the stack.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, what do you do now?
Mm-hmm.
Pablo Doritos knows a thing or two about Magic.
It's probably why he writes articles.
Yeah. He had this cool series. I think he made YouTube videos about him. That actually might be what this is from. Where he's like talked about little ways to like earn like an extra like 1 percentage point chance to win like every match.
Yeah.
And like that adds up.
Right.
So he's like, these are just like all little things.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part in this mirror, when you aggro, you probably lose. Yeah, it doesn't seem very like awesome.
Yeah.
But if you just like hit your life total down real low and go like, oops, I did it. Double Death Shadow. What are you doing now?
Double Death Shadow with a Stubborn Denial backup.
Yeah. It doesn't happen very often. And it seems pretty rough.
Mm-hmm.
But like you could decide you're not in it for long enough of a game to bring in Ancestral Visions.
Yeah.
And like that's like a pretty real decision where it's like how long is this game going?
Right. Like another decision, which I think was weird because Alexander decided he wanted to go for a long game. He kept in the Teamer Battle Rage, which I would have taken out.
Yeah. Once you decide you're on like a longer game plan, a card that just ends the game instantly, but only when comboed with another card seems pretty rough.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's times where you're like, oh, I'm on this long game, and then out of nowhere I just kill you, and like that feels good. But you know, I'm assuming more often than not, especially in this kind of mirror, you know that that's not going to happen, so it just stays in your head and dead like it did that game.
Yep. Cycle Street Wraith, Cycle Mishra's Bauble, Shock, Thoughtseize. We're going down.
Yeah. It's weird that this is like the only deck in the format that really, not the only one, but that like really utilizes the fact that there's a decent handful of cards in Modern that just say, yeah, your deck really isn't 60 cards.
Yep. There are a few other decks that are doing that now.
Mm.
The Phoenix Dex does that with Manamorphose.
Yeah, I mean, like that card actually does something, right? Like yes, it cycles, but it also like makes mana.
Not in the Phoenix deck. It doesn't like make mana.
Yeah.
But like in like Storm, that's what it's there for actually.
Yeah.
Is it's like, yeah, sure, it draws a card, but really it's an extra ritual once I have my guys going.
Yeah, and a ritual that makes blue.
Yeah, which don't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
And it casts for red. Why? So
Teamer Battle Rage is soup that's too hot.
Hot soup. Hey, AJ, I'm going to need you to bring up hot soup real quick.
It's a card. It's an artifact from what?
M15.
M15, yeah.
Please bring up hot soup on the screen.
Thank you.
Equipped creature can't be blocked. When the equipped creature is dealt damage, destroy it. That's kind of a combo with Temur Battle Rage. You're like sure it gives trample, but like
Unblockable's better.
unblockable is so much better. Equips for 3, and this is part of I don't want to call it a cycle because it absolutely was not like a cycle of cards that all went together. But like they had some guest designers come in and make some cards for M15.
Yep, I remember that.
There was the Notch, the guy who made Minecraft, made aggressive mining.
Oh yeah.
Which I absolutely tried to make work in a control deck in that format.
That card was just bad.
You're like once you get to a certain point in a control mirror, it's like, all right, we both have 17 lands. Let me play aggressive mining. And it's like, now I'm going to sack a hand to draw 2 cards once each turn. No, it does not work.
Nope. Another one of them, the one that I played was Genesis Hydra.
Okay, that one was good,
That
though.
was an actual,
that one was good, though.
That one was an actual good card. That was made by the guy who made Plants vs. Zombies.
Yep. There were some sick designs that came out of that. There's like this weird bad assassin card that like requires like a full like turn of setup before it can kill anything, and it's bad. There are some fun ones.
Yeah, I think they should do that again. That was pretty cool.
I want to say it was called Avarice Amulet. Was an amulet that looks like Pac-Man, and I don't even remember what it did, but they made it look like Pac-Man. Yeah, see the little crack in it's supposed to look like Pac-Man, and the blue. It's got the white pellets and the blue pellets around it, or the blue ghosts with white pellets around it. Mono Green Devotion is exactly where Genesis Hydra belongs.
Speaking of your upkeep, draw a card, and then whenever the creature takes damage, your opponent gets it.
Yep.
The good old Inquisition, your 2 lands.
Tony is trying to rip apart Alexander's hand.
But Alexander is sitting here with 2 1/1s against Tony's 1/1.
Not for long. Look at this onboard combat trick.
Oh, snap. I wonder if he's going to lose to it.
It sucks to lose to onboard tricks. It sucks even more when your deck has the same onboard tricks.
Yeah.
It's like, damn it. I was going to do that.
Alexander draws Serum Visions.
Seems real rough here. Not anymore. It hit something really good, which was Gurmag Angler is now in hand.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. And then he's able to leave a fetch land on top.
Yep.
Which is good, but not when Tony already has one. I mean, it's going to let him keep parity, and he has 2 rather than 1.
Yep.
But he's a turn behind, so if Tony just draws another one.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, his Death Shadow gets bigger.
For what it's worth, as long as Tony keeps ramping up, if Alexander keeps ramping up at the exact same pace but a turn behind, Alexander is going to be able to double block Tony's and kill it every turn except for literally this one.
Mm-hmm. Unless Tony decided to be the aggressor and keeps in Temur Battle Rage. Gets them.
Alexander already has Temur Battle Rage in the graveyard. In fact, chose not to delve it away with Gurmag Angler because he thinks it's that good.
Hey, he's got the Death Shadow in hand. If he has like he knows the fetch land's on top, and if that card underneath that is like Snapcaster Mage, then you can just like
game over.
Yeah, you can just win.
Tony is big thinking here.
You got it, man. His board isn't. He's not in a really good position. And he, like you said, this is like the only turn he's going to be able to actually attack and not just for free lose his dude.
He didn't know that, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
He might be ahead by enough because of that Dismember that he cast.
Mm-hmm.
That he, let's see, I think it's a 5/5 now? Or is it a 4/4? 5/5. And now Alexander's 2 are going to be 3/3s. And
I can't believe we don't have a Death Shadow dice.
When will SCG make that?
I know, it's crazy.
They made the Tarmo die.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, they got that. I mean, that's a little harder to tell on screen, but...
When are they going to make a 13-sided rolling dice that I can use to indicate how large Death Shadow is on my side of the board?
Yeah.
Because it's not universal.
Exactly. I think he just picked up a Fatal Push, maybe? Or maybe it was another Death Shadow.
Well, Fatal Push would be a big game.
Yeah. All right, Tony's finally cracking his fetch land.
You know what else would be big game here?
What's that?
Teamer Battle Rage.
Always big game in this deck, which I guess is the reason why you don't side it out. But
Yeah. It's such a weird card in a matchup where you end up like trying to 1-for-1 all around. That was Fatal Push. He snaps it off. Now his Death Shadow is bigger.
mm-hmm. Which means he's at a lower life total, which means you can't just free swing in.
Yeah. That's the sad part.
That's like the weird thing about the Death Shadow mirror matches. Like if your dude's bigger, you're losing.
Well, not
necessarily,
yeah,
but
yeah. If your dude's here's the thing: if his dude was big enough,
mm-hmm.
he'd be able to one-shot Alexander, and then he could swing in and force Alexander to lose his guy.
Right.
But he's not. And if Alexander has any way to lose life, come his turn, he dies on the backswing.
Well,
their life totals are close enough.
Well, just Tony swinging in and Alexander taking it should be enough to pump his Death Shadow.
Oh, you're right.
To kill him on the backswing.
That too, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, Snapcaster Mage.
I'm pretty sure Alexander drew lands. He has one Terminate in his hand, which is going to take care of this Death Shadow.
He's thinking, does he take it first? So that way the next Death Shadow is real big. I don't think you want to do that.
I don't think so. You especially with you're like no way to answer the Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah, it's just gonna kill you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
Thoughtseize.
Not great.
You've probably just fired off anyways.
Yeah.
You do shave a turn off his clock. But
yeah, you saw that Tony didn't play land a couple turns in a row, so it's very unlikely that both of the cards in his hand, or actually either of the cards in his hand, is a land.
Yeah.
So it's probably something.
Passes back. Interesting. I'm not sure what cards he could think Tony has.
I'm thinking he does. He's. It's probably not Death Shadow, right? Because he would have just played it.
Yeah.
So he's probably like, whatever it is, it's not gonna like just free kill me if I don't get it right now, or else he would have played it.
Yeah. It's Bolt and Snapcaster. Bolt, Snap, Bolt. Got him.
Attack with Snap. I believe he has a Stubborn Denial in his hand.
Get in for 2. Put him to 7. 7 all. Game's close.
Is this a Colgan's command? That would be pretty big. Oh, nope, Lily. Also pretty big.
Oh, yeah. -2. We're milling some.
Getting a Death Shadow. Play it. Answer it or die.
Should have fired off that Thoughtseize. Yeah, that's definitely... I just don't see the merit in holding it back. Faithless Looting. Let's dig.
Bolt and Colgan's command.
Well...
You probably get rid of the Thoughtseize now.
Yeah, you get rid of the Thoughtseize. I think you're getting rid of Island.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can play both of those cards that you just drew.
What is Death Shadow at now? 5, 6?
It is it is 6/6. So
even with both of those cards, you can't kill it because Colgan's command does 2.
Yep. But he is also going to be at 1 if he takes a hit from it.
Yeah.
You know what he could do? He can Colgan's command to deal 2 to Snapcaster Mage.
Get back his Death Shadow and play it.
Yeah.
And then they're even again.
Sadly, they won't be even for long because Liliana Last Hope is going to make it a awkwardly 5/6.
Yeah.
But
that
it doesn't really matter because if Tony swings in, he can only put him to 1.
Exactly.
Which means he'll die to the backswing, whether it has -2, -1 or not.
Mm-hmm. Which means Tony would have to draw like a fetch land or something to threaten to be able to pump it.
Hit Snapcaster Mage, gonna grab Death Shadow, I think.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, doesn't leave black open. I think that was a misplay.
Yeah, you definitely wanted to leave black open there. I'm not sure what you could, unless you're just like trying to hit Liliana, and you're like, I don't care if I go to 1.
Yeah, I mean that does leave you dead to a lot of things though.
There's so many cards Tony could have right now.
I see Tony's hand is Engineered Explosives,
Oh.
Nope. All right. Just I don't know if we had life totals wrong or something. Dang, his hand was snap, Distemernal explosives.